Okay, and one question per person.
How do you manage to market to doctors, because it's a very fragmented and a very difficult market to capture? How did you get that past that barrier, not being from a medical background or having a medical thing?
So the question was that he's an avid user, and how do you reach out to this niche doctor segment, and how do you go after them? I think the first thing we did was we didn't listen to anyone. Right? That was the first thing we did. Everybody we spoke to said, you can't do this. It's insane. One of our customers, early customers, you won't believe it, came back to it and took me to the side and said, Shashank, I really like you. I don't do this. I've seen so many companies coming and doing exactly what you are doing, and they have died. Don't do this. So first thing I did was I didn't listen to doctors. Okay, so that's why we have no medical people on our team, because they themselves don't know what internet can do for them. What internet can do for their practice, their business, and their patients. And I was passionate about it. The reason why we continued marketing to doctors, even though they continuously threw me out of their clinics, I think up to 5,000 times, was because I, as a patient, deserved better services. I felt I'm a patient. I should have prescriptions on my mobile phone. I should have printed out stuff. I should be able to do things online with my doctor, and I can't. Right? So that's the passion that allowed us to do it. And what was very helpful in the doctor community, everything else sucks, but what is really good about the doctor community is that they refer very well. You get one doctor, they refer another 5 more. So in Bombay, I remember landing up on Bombay one day and just got out and went to the topmost doctor in Bombay. His name is I don't know if I'm supposed to reveal it, but he's the beautician. He's the person who takes care of all these Miss World and Miss Universe models and everyone, the dentist out there. And we got him. And once we got him, we were able to get the next 50 doctors, with ease. So that's the advantage of in the medical fraternities, that once you get that early adopter, you can get to the others very well. So we used to use their brand name to sell. We used to say, this so-and-so, so-and-so, so-and-so using. I'm nobody, but they are they're somebody. So buy because of them. So that's how we sold.
Sales team, how do you keep the cost of acquiring customers low? Question to you.
So one of the things which we realized was that with a high-touch model, like I told you, everybody who tells you that if you're selling a yearly priced product on a high-touch model, it's a startup graveyard. Don't do it. What they don't factor in is the competition. So what we had the lucky opportunity was in the last 4 years, we kept a very low profile, and we were on the early to the markets. So our conversion ratios are very, very high. So for us to convert a particular doctor, out of every 10 doctors visited, we were able to get 8 trials out of it. Only 2 doctors turned us back. And out of those 8 people who tried our product, 6 bought it. So 60% is pretty high a number in any closing rate. Obviously, it's gradually gone down, but so one of the things which high touch, which worked for us, was to make sure that our conversion ratios are really high. So we not only count the sales they make, but we drive it all the way back to the starting point and saying, these are the number of people they're calling. These are the meetings they're getting. And so a very high numbered game. So one of the keys to succeeding in a high touch business, what I remember talking to even IndiaMart and JustDial and Naukri, is that every number counts, right? Every single number counts. So you have to make sure that you're counting each and every number and monitoring it. That's what we did, and we slowly raised the team from about 0 sales member to about close to about 75 to 100 now. So.
It's for Venki. Venki, I just wanted you to speak about something about the innovation in your product. What do you think is the, what is the rate of innovation, and in how many months you need to do something, bring out a new flavor of the vada pav or something like that, to keep your, customers loyal and hooked?
Okay. The first innovation happened because the food industry in India is still very outdated. We still have IT, Infosys, Wipro. We talk about India being the greatest evolution, but we still don't have food loss. In food in India, on the streets or in any hotel, chuha, billi, makki, sab ghus jata hai. We don't have any food loss. and it's pathetic condition, frankly speaking. There are no process system for a hotel industry to be normed, monitored, audited. Internationally, there is something called ASAP and all, critical control points, because you consume it, it can happen, anything can go wrong with you. So you find a lot of firungs, you would have come back from US, when you would have come back, first 3 months if you had eaten on the streets of Mumbai or any other place, you would have had a major problem, because the ecosystem there is different, the water, the food quality, and we say, India, हम लोग को कुछ भी हजम हो जाता है, we can eat anything and happen. The first thing that we attacked was, can this product be done with technology? So I started working on the people with Lay's, maybe the Amul, maybe the other people, to find technology which can guaranteedly say that the food is of good quality, and even when I sell it in Bangalore, Hyderabad or anything, I can identify what is the problem. So this entire food product is done by Vista, which is again an American company with 50 years into food background. So a guy eats in Coimbatore, he can track it back if something goes wrong, which logistic van brought it back to him, which cold room it was in, what was the temperature, from there to which supervisor did the production at the plant in Mumbai, which farm the potato came from. So that's the kind of innovation that we brought to that entire product, with a manufacturing date, expiry date. Was the crucial element as far as the product goes. Again, innovation happened. The same frozen -18 product, when we dumped it into a fryer, which was non-temperature controlled, the product used to turn red. But when a consumer used to eat it, the temperature used to be something like -4 or something like that. So we had to find out a fryer which would do it. So we went back to same IIT, VJTI, trying to find out a fryer which would be cost effective, because a Mac fryer costs you 1.5 lakhs and all. So we got an Infosys guy to do a software, most probably. We got a VJTI guy to do the instrumentation. We got a metallurgy guy to do the thing. And then suddenly we came out with a fryer, 170 the temperature is on, button daba do, anybody can fry it. 180 the flame goes off. The tongue temperature is 70, the viscosity of the basin is 90. This is the kind of innovation kept on happening till the time we perfected it. The innovation was like every day it had to happen in some way or the other to survive.
Hello.
Yeah,
The
can you,
innovation-
can you take it offline if you don't mind? There's some more questions. as well.
Absolutely.
Just in front of him here. Yeah.
Hi, my question is to Kunal about the sustainability of free charge. I mean, how do you get revenues? From where do you get revenues?
I think we've taken a unique challenge. We've ventured into a business which has no margins, and that's where we feel that most people are not going to venture into, because there's revenue innovation to be done constantly. What we've been able to do is we've got 3 sources of revenue. Telcos pay us some money, customers pay us some fee for getting coupons, and there are merchants who pay us an acquisition fee for acquiring these customers. But it's actually the science around it. In terms of sustainability of it, we're talking about 900 million connections, 95% being prepaid, and still most of the country is not online and not transacting, right? We believe people will probably first recharge or pay their bills online, then buy jeans online. So we believe that we could be that pipe first, and if we control 50 to 60 to 70% of the transacting customers in this country, I think we should be more powerful than Google in this country. That's our belief.
How are we doing on time? And yeah. Okay. While they're figuring that out, why don't you just ask your question loudly without the mic?
Select the best question and they get to pitch. Select the best question so far and they get to pitch.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Please use, when you use an abbreviation, please expand it. Most of us haven't gone
I
through
think we're
school.
probably not going to win that contest.
You know. Would you CSR, would you classify social responsibility, BTL below the line?
Okay, it was a below. What had happened was, most probably, we needed some amount of buzz to keep our franchisees happening. And they were telling us to advertise in the local newspaper or television channels or cable, which we couldn't afford, in Vada Pav 7 Rupee business. So we found that there is something like a jugaad in India, आप जाके अनाउंस कर दो मेरा बच्चा घूम गया और गोली वड़ा पाव का दुकान में खड़ा है, तो लॉट ऑफ गोली, 1 lakh plus population standing outside railway station. So consumers started hearing about Goli more and more. So there is a zero cost marketing. So it was a BTL.
Okay, time for one more question. A question without abbreviations.
Okay, that guy has been all the way at the back, last row, he's been jumping up and down, and so why don't we...
I have a question for Venkat. When are you taking Goli Vada Pav to US?
Frankly speaking, we don't have any issues because our back-end partners are good. We don't have any issue in Goli going international. See, actually speaking, अगर भूले जाओ तो we don't do anything. वड़ा कोई और बनाता है, पाव कोई और बनाता है, चटनी कोई और बनाता है, गाड़ी किसी और का, दुकान किसी और का, ब्रांड सिर्फ हमारा. So actually we are pan India. If you can see that way, we are. It's just a question of time. And the same back-end partners have got some 33 plants, all over the world. Russia में है, China में है, South America में है. So people have been eating burgers. Now they will eat curry burgers, or that's the thought process. Inquiries are there from all over the world, but we still have to get our managerial process bandwidth in place, and we will start. We will start. Dubai is one of the regions and other places. So it can go simultaneously in so many other countries in an organical way.
Who picks it? Oh. Do you guys, which was the hardest question for you to answer? I think you had a couple, Venki. Yeah.
See, this is why you shouldn't confuse the panel with too many questions.
Can I just ask the people who ask the questions to just raise their hand at least, so we... Okay. I think there was something about optimizing lifetime value and cost of sales in a direct sales situation. So I think the question came from... Okay. So I think from the person back there. So I think we'll give him this ball, and he gets a chance to pitch as well.
You have a startup, right?
Cool. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, gentlemen.
All right.
Thanks
Thank
a
you
lot
so
for
much.
your time. Big round of applause. Come on, you can do better.